Everyone, it's Kristen. So today we're talking about Dazzler 17. And I kind of already briefly talked about this one when I was talking about the new Dazzler series. I think in the third issue, she sings a song about Warren Worthington, the angel. Oh my gosh, uh, it's not a good song. Like the chorus goes wing bling ding because he has wings, and he bling because he's rich, and then the ding, I'm not sure, it just rhymes. Anyway, it was not a good song. So I kind of touched on this comic when we were talking about that comic because that's where the song came from. So she's with Ken, and they are, um, out and about, and they get mugged. And Ken, and he's pretty helpless. Like he's not a fighter. So Dazzler, she has to save them. She does a Dazzle burst, and she knocks everyone out, including Ken. And she basically sends him home in a cab because she's like, I just need to be alone. Like she doesn't feel up to company after going through that. And she calls the police and says, "Hey, there's some guys outside my building. I think they're all drunk." Because she can't really say what actually happened. Like, "Hey, I was mugged, but I, knocked all of them out with my light powers," or something. So anyway, as I talked about in the last issue and probably other issues, here she is, like something for the guys. She's getting, undressed and redressed in her nightgown, and I love how she does this while she's, this is her inner monologue. She's like, she does these things, yeah, when she's having her inner monologue, and she's talking about how, well, if I had a superhero boyfriend, I wouldn't have to worry about, those sort of things. He would take care of like the muggers and stuff, but at the same time, then I would have to have all the headaches that go with that. So she's like, oh my gosh, in my haste today, I forgot to get the mail, and here's a letter from Jessica Drew, who she hired while she was in San Francisco to find information about her mother because of the brooch she found of her mother's. She thought that was a clue to what happened to her mother. Anyway, and Jessica's like, I didn't find me and Spider-Woman, they're the same person, but not everyone knows that, are still on the case. We'll let you know if we find anything. If she's on the West Coast, we'll find her. So she goes to see Harry about work, and he has her audition over the phone, and she sings, what is she singing? Oh, Blue Suede Shoes. And they're like, yeah, you got the gig. And she goes, and it's like right now. So she goes, and she sees Beeper, her drummer, there already, and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you play for some men other than me. And he's like, I'd rather just play with you and Hutch and Max, but unfortunately, gotta pay the bills. So, and Dazzler doesn't have the most consistent singing career. Anyway, so especially since she disappears a lot. So she meets Vanessa, who is the other backup singer. That's the gig she landed. And it's actually a singing backup vocals for Bruce Harris, who just fired her. And so if he had known that she was singing backup vocals, of course he wouldn't be letting her. So we see Dazzler's dad. He's having a hard time. He's just, he's kind of having a mental breakdown. Yeah. So, and then we see Dazzler outside, she's leaving the studio, and this guy approaches her, and he says, let's see oh yeah, you remember me, don't you? And she's like, no, should I? And he pulls out this magazine of him on the cover of like Fortune magazine, and he's like, does this answer your question? And she's like, no, not really. You're some rich creep, apparently. And she's like, there's my bus. I gotta go. Bye. And he gets on the bus and he asks the bus driver, do you have change for 100? Because it's 75 cents. And this guy lends him 75 cents. Goodness. I don't, I mean, to me, that's so, like, I get why she wrote the song about him, that he was being arrogant and kind of a jerk and wouldn't let her just live her life, live her dreams. You'll see what I mean later. But, because the whole, do you know who I am? That is, that and just annoys me all the time. Like, when I used to work at Starbucks, I'd have people that come in and would say, yeah, I'll have my usual. I'm like, okay, and that is or because I don't know them. Sometimes I will work mornings, sometimes afternoons, evenings, so it switches, and so you get different people during different times, and so I didn't know everyone. And so then they get so irritated when you're like, and ask them, okay, and that is, just let me know what it is and I can take care of that for you. Oh, they would get so irritated, which and they should, if they come there all the time, they should know also that they don't know me. Like, they should look at me and be like, oh, you're not like Susan. So, oh, I should tell this person my order because obviously I don't know them, so they don't know me. Anyway, so just annoys me when people do that. So Dazzler kind of gets off the bus and tries to get away from Warren. And he's like, wait, sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to scare you. I have something to show you. And she's like, oh my. See, I told you I had something to show you. And, you know, obviously that's an innuendo. And it's his wings. And she's like, oh my gosh, I know you now. You're, the angel, Warren Worthington III. You came out publicly as, a mutant. And he's like, ever since basically I saw you performing at Club Numero Uno, basically she got the gig and Dazzler won of this series. He's like, I've just been kind of thinking about you. And he said, when we were compelled by Moondragon to try out for the Avengers, because Moondragon, the daughter of Drax, has, great um, mind powers, and she does a lot of stuff that just basically kind of for kicks. And so she did that, and yeah. So they didn't, like, they were both under a haze, so they didn't really talk or didn't really know each other at that point. Anyway, he's like, I've had, just after my battle with Ghost Rider, I was laid up for a while. I've had a lot of time to think, and I just can't stop thinking about you. And he also said, and I wanted to see if you could help me, like, straighten my life out. And that seems like a lot to ask of someone that you don't know, that you've, like, really literally, like, never met before. So, I mean, and he's like, I flew all the way here. And she's like, when he says he flew all the way here, he means like he flew all the way here, like on his, own power. And she's like, I don't know. I have a lot of stuff going on in my life too. I'm very flattered, but, I have my own life to think about. So she's on a date with Ken, and there's this guy and says, more coffee, and she looks up and it's Warren. And he's like, I knew you would be here, so I bought out the whole restaurant because I just couldn't wait to see you again. And yeah, Ken's like, who's this guy? And she's like, just some show off, some rich guy trying to, yeah, show off. And I mean, that's a little stalkerish. I mean, as much as I love, Angel, that's a little stalkerish to be like, oh, I knew you were here, so I bought out the whole restaurant because I couldn't wait to see you again. And he's like, Angel's like, can we talk this over? And she's like, we're leaving. You can get the tab since you own the place. So, you know. So they're talking about it later, and Dazzler's a little bit puzzled why Ken's not concerned that this rich, handsome guy is, pursuing her. And she's like, he's not even the least bit jealous, which is good in a sense, but I kind of get what Dazzler's saying, that she feels like he should be even just a little bit concerned. So anyway, so Warren is watching the building, and he sees Ken leave, and then he taps on her window, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're spying on me through my window? That's really disgusting. And he's like, no, I was just watching the front door to see when that guy left, so then I could, come up here and talk to you. And he's like, how about a spin? And she's like, basically he's very persistent. And she's like, Dazzler's rethinking it, and she's like, well, he is kind of charming, so what can it hurt? And so they don't go in a car though. They go for a yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like when I was little, Angel was one of my favorite characters because of his wings. That's it. Like I wanted wings like that. I remember being like super little and asking my parents for wings for Christmas, like wings like his. So anyway, yeah. But yeah, like the superpower I have always wanted is to be able to fly. So anyway, I think that's cool. Like that he takes her like on this tour of New York, a very unique tour of New York. And Dazzler's kind of just caught up in the moment, obviously, and they kiss. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, we kissed." And he's like, "Yeah, we did." She's like, "Oh, I need to think about this. I just, I need to collect my thoughts." So she and her band go on this super late night local TV show. It's like 3 in the morning, and because I mean, hey, it's publicity. So it's like 3 in the morning, and Warren comes up in this car and he honks at Dazzler, and they're like, her bandmates are like, "Who's that guy?" And Dazzler's like, "He's here for me." Um, yeah. And Warren's like, "Did you forget about our date?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know how I could forget about it, considering I didn't even know we had a date." So she goes with him though. Like this is, second time she's been like, "Okay, let's go." And she says to herself, "I can't believe I'm doing this." But so they're talking about what they're going to do. They're going to go to Jersey City for breakfast, and they get behind this armored car, and there's a commotion, and Dr. Octopus breaks free. And Warren, he's like, "Oh my gosh, he's getting away," and he springs into action and takes Dazzler with him. And she's like, "Put me down right now." And he's like, "But he's getting away." And she's like, Warren, I have told you again, I don't want to be part of this superhero life. I don't want to use my powers for that. I want to be an entertainer, and that's all I want to be. And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry." Um, he's like, "But I just stay back then, but I have to pursue him. Like, I feel like it's my duty." So she's like, "Okay." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, Warren, look out." And Dr. Octopus is like, "Well, you chose to prepare to pursue Dr. Octopus. Prepare to feel my wrath." He's like, "Pay the price." And he grabs Dazzler, and basically he's going to ransom, well, she's his hostage. And so Dazzler thinks that, she uses her powers on him, and he lets go of her. So she's like, "Oh, good." And then Warren charges in, as he's still a little bit disoriented. And then Dr. Octopus like flings him off the side of the building, and he's dazed. And see, but Dazzler thinks he's killed. Dr. Octopus has killed him, and she's really like really upset. And so she she has her skates on because she just performed. She uses this ramp to jump over the sign, and he's like, Dr. Octopus is like, "Oh, good, she did my work for me. That stupid girl like killed herself basically." But what she did was jump over there, hang on to the lights, wait for him to come, and surprise him, and like I said, and dazzle him. And then Warren comes and punches him. And the combination of the fall, Warren punching him, and being dazzled, basically he kind of passes out. And the police or special guards or whoever is in charge of him, they come and they gas him like right away to sedate him. So they take him back into custody, and Warren says he's gonna go to Rikers because I called some people, and that's where he needs to be. It's a prison for special like powered people like that. So, and Warren is like, "So how about that breakfast in Jersey?" And Dazzler's like, "No, I just want to go home." And she, again, emphasizes that she just wants to be a singer. She doesn't want to use her powers to fight people. And Warren's like, well, everyone else I know likes to use their powers, you know. And she's like, I do too, to entertain people. But I don't want to use them to fight people. I've told you repeatedly this. And basically he's like, just, I'm sorry, just give me one more chance. And she's like, I just want you to leave. And so and she's like, going to change. And when I come out, I expect you to be gone. So he sees the letter from Jessica on the dresser, picks it up, looks at it, which is, again, another like violation of privacy. And realizes that if he can find out about her mom, he'll be the hero. So he goes and, that's what he has in his mind. Dazzler's, send him away, but if he comes back with information about her mom, then he'll be a hero and then Dazzler will like him. And you can see her, she's standing in her underwear looking out the window. Granted, I feel like she's on the, what floor? Like, it looks like the top floor, so not a ton of people probably will see her standing in front of the window in her underwear, but you never know. There's people with binoculars everywhere. Anyway, so then we see the next will be the absorbing man. And he is come after Dazzler. He's coming after Dazzler. So, like I said, I did a video on the third issue of Dazzler, the new miniseries that came out, and like I said, in it she references this encounter with him in the song that is not a good song. But so I will put that in the description so that you guys can watch that if you want to. So anyway, thank you for joining me for this video, and until next time, bye.